Sure. So the time starts now.
Okay, so before I started in Factory, I used to be the R&D IT lead for India for Monsanto. One time, 2 or 3 of my top talent just decided to leave. So I asked my managers, hey, did you guys see it coming? They shrugged their shoulders and said, boss, listen, we've been having these monthly one-on-ones, but we never saw this coming. So we were really beating ourselves up trying to figure out what the reasons were. Then I realized that, there was actually a systemic issue. It wasn't anything that we didn't do, but more because we couldn't do something. If you think about customer experience as an analogy, right? Organizations very rightly want to understand customer experience at every single touch point. Employees have way more, touch points with the organization, but current systems are just not designed for it. So you have year-end surveys, they're good for certain things, but really, employee everyday moments of truth, they can't capture that. And it is these everyday moments of truth that ultimately result in attrition. So this is where we come in. Engage is India's first continuous real-time employee feedback platform that enables organizations to truly understand what their employees are saying, gives managers feedback, real-time feedback into their strengths, their weaknesses, and why don't you see for yourself? Can you play the video, please? And I'm done.
Thank you so much, Arun. Can we have a round of applause for Arun, please? Now we move on to the jury round.
Have you been able to see any causality by doing this on the business metrics or attrition?
It's too early. See, we got the product out about 3 months ago, and we're in the process of, we've rolled it out, we're in the process of rolling it out to about 8,500 employees currently across 3 paying customers. We've got,
How do you sell the ROI?
the ROI,
How do you sell it?
basically it's going to impact, first of all, engagement scores, you'll see them improve, and you don't have to wait 2 or 3 years to see improvements. You can see them over months, right? The second, as we gain more data, we have algorithms that can use this to predict attrition at a team level. So we actually will be able to say, okay, in this particular team, the probability of 3 people leaving in the next 6 months is about 75%. And those are, really cost savings for you. That's the ROI.
Can you talk a bit about the actionability? Because you said there's things that we just couldn't do. So your salaries are going up and you've decided you can't take salaries up. How are you going to fix that?
Great question. Now, what we suggest for organizations is never pick on salaries, right? I haven't seen a single organization where people are happy with pay and benefits. What we suggest is go for more operational metrics. Things which you can fix in a jiffy or which can have a quick turnaround time. IT support, canteen services, things like that where you can actually show action. And this will only succeed if employees see leadership committed, taking the feedback and doing something in return. And so that's where what we suggest is go for quick operational benefits initially, and then you can have these long-running things later.
So just building on Sandeep's point, is it at the sentiment that I can get at the team level, or can I identify the sentiment or whatever at the individual level, so that, especially because the way I see it is, it's about high performance attrition that I need to manage. Actually, I don't want to manage everything, but I want some of the attrition to happen.
So we have 2 solutions. One is, this by nature has to be anonymous, because if we break anonymity, people are not going to give you that feedback. What we are also building is a continuous performance appraisal system where you won't have that anonymity built. But what we can do on the other hand is we will suggest groups for you that you can have anonymous conversations with. So let's assume you can give us data in terms of, okay, here are my high performers. Then we can suggest groups of high performers who are disengaged. And you could have these anonymous conversations to understand what's going on. The idea is to make it a very safe environment for people to give their feedback and have employees themselves come up with the solutions as part of the process.
Kind of an extension of that, in the context of yours being a real-time engagement platform, and when we're talking of real-time performance and feedback, and we're talking of real-time on-the-job learning, everything's here and now across these various. And have you thought beyond?
So 5 years. So I actually we never talk about customer engagement. We say customer experience. I think of it as employee experience, which has all these different features. So our 5-year vision is actually to integrate organizational feedback, employee performance appraisal, employee wellness and benefits. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I can plug it into whoever has the solutions. Training and development, HR solutions, peer-to-peer recognition. That forms your employee experience platform. That's where we are going.
So, how does this not conflict with, let's say, your annual Gallup or things like that? Because some of those things are fairly long term. How do you bring that into your platform for the employee experience?
I'm going to be a little politically incorrect here. Okay, I actually think yearly surveys are going to go the way of the dinosaur. All right, they're going to be dead in 5 years. I'm not saying this because it's just the way technology is progressing. You can't expect a sales lead to use last year's balance sheet and income statement to make decisions for the next year. We seem to expect managers and HR leaders to do that. To me, that's so. While at this point, what I can say is we can be complementary because it takes some time to move away from established systems. Where we can say, look for operational things which are changing on a day-to-day basis, employee everyday moments of truth. In the long term, I think even those folks have to change. They have to get where it's more real.
So, given the fact that it is anonymous, how do you assimilate and run an analytics to say which part of the feedback would really make a difference on the key metrics and which part of the feedback may not necessarily have any difference whatsoever?
So what we do is we actually run correlations between individual categories and the overall engagement index, which is a weighted average, right? So we have two types of questions. One is which is a dipstick question that we call, which could be something as simple as how are you feeling now, how was your work today? The other is a contextual questions, which we cycle on a 1-month cycle, with every employee getting hit with every question. Let's assume you have 8 categories, 2 questions a category, 16 questions, once one question pops up as a notification every 1.5 days. That we cycle on a monthly basis. But I'm a big believer in the bell curve, right? So if you have enough numbers, then you're going to get your central tendency. So that's what. So.
Thank you so much, Arun. We're out of time
Thank you.
now. Thank you so much. Can we have a huge round of applause for Arun?
Woohoo!
Next.